On a November afternoon in Chicago, Donald Trump, wearing a long blue-black coat and red tie, walked along Michigan Avenue. He was in the city for a meeting, but had decided to walk back to his hotel to enjoy the feel of the city. As he passed a corner near Millennium Park, something made him stop on a sidewalk. Sitting hunched over in front of the building, there was a middle-aged pulmonary man. His clothes were old again in tatters, and his hands were shaking while holding a cardboard sign that read, "Veterans in need, please help." Suddenly, Trump stopped in the middle of the road, ignoring the bustling crowd around him. He was fascinated by the look in the middle-aged man's eyes. He approached him slowly, attracting curious looks from passers-by. Trump said, "What's your name?" The middle-aged man replied in surprise he did not expect. "There will be people, let alone someone like Mr. Donald Trump," he answered hesitantly. Trump said while kneeling in front of him, "You are a veteran?" "Yes, sir," he said in an almost inaudible voice. "And then he told me I served in the Army for 12 years, injured abroad, and things haven't been easy since." Trump nodded and absorbed his words. "Why? Are you here? You don't have a place to stay?" Then, shaking his head, "I lost my apartment years ago and can't afford rent. Have been trying to get back on my feet, but it's hard." His words hit Trump harder than he expected. Here is someone who has given years of his life to serve the country, now forced to beg on the streets for a bite of rice. He can't just leave. He reached into his pocket and took out his cell phone. "Stay here," he said firmly. "We will fix this." Trump stepped a few feet away and dialed the number on the other end. His longtime assistant, Margaret, immediately picked him up. "Margaret," Trump said quickly, "I want you to find the nearest available hotel and call a doctor, someone who can do a quick checkup. Tell them it's urgent right now." Trump answered without hesitation. Trump returned to the old grandfather with a mixture of confusion and cautious expectation. "Help is on the way," he reassures her. "But first, let's get her something warm to eat." He waves to a nearby food vendor and buys Teresa a bowl of hot soup and a sandwich. She eats slowly, her hands shake from the cold as she eats. Trump asks her about life, his time, friends who have gone missing, and injuries that have ended her career. She talks about how the transition to civilian life was harder than she imagined. Minutes later, a sleek black SUV pulled up on the side of the road. Margaret had worked quickly. A well-dressed driver came out, opening the door. "Teresa," Trump said gently, helping her to her feet. "You don't even know me." Trump looked her in the eye because someone should have. Long ago, the SUV took them away to a luxury hotel nearby. The staff prepared by Margaret welcomed Teresa like a VIP. She was escorted to a suite upstairs where hot showers, clean clothes, and warm beds were waiting for her. A doctor came soon after to examine Grandpa, give him medicine for his illness, and give advice on how to restore his health. Trump stayed nearby to make sure everything was handled smoothly. In the meantime, Margaret had contacted Veterans United Support Services, a nonprofit that specializes in helping homeless veterans reintegrate into society. Within an hour, their representative, a cheerful woman named Lisa, arrives to meet Teresa. Teresa, Lisa says while sitting next to her, "We'll help you with housing, job training, and anything else you need. You're not alone anymore." Grandpa's eyes are filled with tears. He looked at Trump, who was standing quietly in the corner, and said, "I don't know how to thank you, Mr. Trump." Trump stepped forward with a friendly expression. "You don't have to thank me. Teresa, you've got this a long time ago." He told Teresa by the next morning. Teresa had a new plan for her life. Veterans United had found a temporary place to live for her, and Trump had arranged for his foundation to cover the rent for the first year. He even gave her a check to help with urgent expenses. As Trump prepares to leave, Teresa stops him. "Mr. Trump," he said in a calm voice, "now you have changed my life in ways I cannot describe. Thank you very much." Trump smiled and leaned back. "Teresa, you will do great things. Promise me one thing. Pay it forward someday." "I will," he said with a new determination in his voice. When Trump came out of the hotel and returned to the bustling city, he felt a sense of quiet satisfaction in a matter of hours. One life has changed, and for Teresa Hensley, the future suddenly seems bright. And this brings us to the end of this story. Thank you for watching the channel to the end. I hope you enjoy the story. If your very important friends, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. For more interesting stories, may your day be even more colorful.